Have you ever noticed how something as familiar as masturbation may suddenly seem hurried, annoying, or oddly disjointed? With more than 60 years of expertise, Dr. Smith, a board-certified urologist and foremost authority on men's health, assists senior men in preserving their vitality, intimacy, and self-assurance. What surprises me the most? Unknowingly, many men over 60 are doing the same 7 blunders that subtly undermine their sexual health, habits that were effective decades ago but now covertly cause more damage than benefit. I'll demonstrate precisely what those errors are and how to fix them in this video. In methods that are actually beneficial to you at this point in your life, you'll discover how to regain sensitivity, increase pleasure, and re-establish a connection with your body. And stay there, because the 4th error is the one that almost all men miss, yet it can hold the secret to getting back the fulfillment you believed was lost forever. Before we begin, I advise you to click the button and activate the bell if you haven't already so you don't miss any further personalized health advice. If you like this video, please leave a comment. If not, write 0 to tell me how I can improve your material. Let's start with one of the most pervasive and false notions that still afflict older men today. You've probably heard of it or perhaps used it without question. First mistake, adopting the myth of semen retention. Many elderly men make the mistake of believing that delaying ejaculation would improve their energy levels, attention, or even testosterone levels. It is a notion based on online pseudoscience and out-of-date concepts. The reality is far more complicated and much more human, even if there is some evidence that brief periods of abstinence may cause transient physiological changes. Your body was made to discharge naturally. Long-term suppression of that function may cause pain, mood swings, pelvic congestion, and even an increased risk of prostate problems. For males over 60, such repercussions may be detrimental to their general well-being in addition to being bothersome. Physicians stress the advantages of mild, healthy ejaculation. It lowers stress, promotes prostate health, aids in hormone regulation, and may even enhance sleep quality. The reverse is often true when you hold it in for weeks or months in the hopes of gaining some mythical power, annoyance, irritation, and a detachment from your body's actual demands. Understanding your body's rhythm, honoring its cues, and striking a healthy balance are the goals of masturbation, not demonstrating control. Consider it self-maintenance rather than enjoyment, similar to stretching or deep breathing. It may center you, invigorate you, and make you feel closer to yourself when you approach it attentively. What other outmoded habits could be silently limiting your pleasure and performance? Is a question you may want to consider if you continue to believe that power is synonymous with control. The following error could surprise you since most guys do it without even recognizing it. The second mistake is always using the same grip and technique. When it comes to ingrained behaviors that have been formed over many years, routine may be reassuring. However, consistently employing the same action, pressure, and grip during masturbation might subtly backfire. Unaware that this regularity might cause a lack of sensitivity and even hinder their capacity to enjoy intimacy with a partner, many older men continue with what they know. The body adjusts. It gets conditioned to react only to that particular pattern if it is repeatedly exposed to the same kind of stimuli. This may eventually make it more difficult to experience pleasure, climax, or maintain mental focus. Your body just needs diversity to get things going again, but you can find yourself feeling dissatisfied, alienated, or even doubting your virility. The answer is easier than most people realize. Change hands. Adjust the pressure. Change the beat. Try out new movements or even introduce suitable and safe instruments. You're broadening your experience rather than giving up on what works. It's about keeping your attention in the moment and your neurological system active. Your enjoyment increases when you give yourself permission to experience new feelings, just where your muscles become stronger when you push them with novel workouts. This has nothing to do with novelty per se. It's about being aware of how your body is changing and allowing yourself to change with it. You deserve enjoyment that doesn't diminish with age but rather increases with you. However, there is another error that is far more often than most men are aware of, and it may be the cause of the hurried and disappointing feeling of many encounters. You can be doing it without even realizing it. Now let's discuss it. The next mistake is to rush through the experience. Many young guys soon pick up the practice of masturbating due to habit, need, or concealment. However, what started out as a hasty deed might develop into a deeply rooted habit over time. And there is where the issue starts. If you rush through the experience, it becomes robotic and detachable from genuine enjoyment. The focus shifts from delight to release. Additionally, this hurried approach may deprive men over 60 of the richer, more satisfying feelings that their bodies are still capable of producing. Your body doesn't have time to gradually increase arousal while you're in a rush. Your thoughts are not present in the moment. Instead, you scarcely see the voyage as you sprint for the finish line. This may eventually desensitize you, leaving you feeling emotionally flat or unimpressed. Something that was once a source of connection may become to seem hollow. On the other hand, everything changes as you slow down. It allows your body to arouse. It encourages the complete activation of your neural system. Additionally, it enables each experience to be linked with your mind. Intentional touch, deep breathing, and slowing down may transform an ordinary experience into something potent and nourishing. Pleasure is about presence, rhythm, and inquiry, not simply climax. You start to feel more alive, entire, and in sync with yourself when you approach this time as something significant rather than usual. Taking longer for the sake of taking longer is not the point. It involves rediscovering things that you may have been ignoring for years. However, if you're just concentrating on one area of your body, then slowing down won't help you reach your full potential. You may be surprised by the following error, which most guys completely ignore. Ignoring the rest of your body is the fourth mistake. Many men have been trained over the years to concentrate just on their genitalia while they are enjoying themselves, as if it is the only important source of feeling. In actuality, however, your body is replete with pleasure zones and nerve endings that, when discovered, have the power to totally alter your experience. You lose out on the whole spectrum of physical and mental pleasures that your body can still provide, even at the age of 60, if you restrict stimulation to a single place. Arousal and connection may be enhanced in your neck, lower belly, chest, inner thighs, and particularly the perineum. In addition to providing physical sensitivity, these areas enable you to feel more emotionally aware, in tune with your body, and present during the event. Temperature changes, massages, and gentle touches are not luxuries. They serve as gateways to further enjoyment. Using your whole body makes the experience richer and more complete and helps you break free from boring patterns. It has nothing to do with being unconventional or adventurous. It's about embracing your body's complexity and giving yourself permission to enjoy it to the fullest. You are a system of feelings, perceptions, and experiences rather than a single component. Your feeling of fulfillment naturally increases as you excite the entire. However, how you handle touch itself may have a significant impact, especially as you explore more of your body. Additionally, many men are experiencing a subtle decrease in comfort and sensitivity due to a frequent mistake. It's something so basic, but so often disregarded. Next, let's discover it. The fifth mistake, ignoring lubrication. Physical contact may feel different for men as they age due to natural changes in the body, such as decreased skin sensitivity and wetness. However, lubrication is one of the most simple and efficient remedies that many men fail to consider. If you haven't used lubrication for decades, skipping it may not seem like a huge problem. In actuality, however, lubrication may significantly increase overall enjoyment, sensitivity, and comfort. Without it, friction may become unpleasant, even abrasive, which over time can cause irritation or a dulling of feeling. By lowering needless resistance, lubrication makes contact smoother and more enjoyable. Additionally, it may assist you in slowing down and becoming mindful of every feeling, which will make the whole experience seem less robotic and more connected. Using it is not shameful. Self-pleasure should be treated with the same respect and care as stretching without warming up. Actually, a lot of premium lubricants are made especially for older skin, improving feel and offering protection and moisture. Lube should be seen as a helpful tool rather than a crutch. It's a way to respect your evolving body and provide it with the things it needs to feel its best, not a sign of weakness or malfunction. Additionally, it may transform a good experience into a fantastic one when employed purposefully. However, despite improved technique, full body involvement, and lubrication, many men unwittingly develop another harmful habit that affects not only your physical health but also your mental and emotional health. Now let's deal with it. Mistake 6. Emotional disconnection. Many men have come to see masturbation as a simply physical activity, a means of releasing tension, stress, or sexual energy with no emotional investment. However, this mechanical way of thinking may create a gap that makes the experience seem empty or unsatisfying. Pleasure is not only about the body. It's sentimental. It's a psychological issue. It is closely related to your sense of safety, openness, and presence in your own body. You lose the closeness that gives self-pleasure its significance when you indulge in it without emotional awareness. This separation may be particularly harmful to males over 60. Feelings of isolation, poor self-esteem, or annoyance with age and performance changes may all be reinforced by it. However, things don't have to be that way. You may develop a sense of intimacy with oneself by allowing emotion to enter the experience, whether via breathwork, self-compassion, gratitude, or just being aware of your feelings. That bond promotes healing in addition to enjoyment. Self-touch is not just a release, it may also be an act of caring. It could serve as a reminder that your body still deserves pleasure, love, and care. To feel whole, you don't need a companion. You must be present. Kindness is what you need. And the advantages go far beyond the bedroom when you incorporate them into the present. We've now arrived to the last and maybe most subtle error, which, if ignored, might undermine advancement in all other areas. The 7th mistake is to see enjoyment as a performance. It's easy to slip into the trap of judging your value by how well you perform in a society that often associates masculinity with performance, strength, endurance, frequency, and this mentality extends beyond partnered sex. It permeates individual encounters as well, transforming something intended to be nourishing into an additional duty to gauge or perfect. Perhaps you're asking yourself, did I last long enough? Was it enough intense? Was it supposed to feel better? These inquiries cause your focus to go from delight to criticism, from presence to pressure. However, enjoyment isn't a show. Your body is having a dialogue with you. Listening, adapting, and exploring are more important than reaching some artificial goal. Give the scorecard up. Pay attention to how you feel rather than how you believe you should feel. Intimacy with oneself may be experienced in whatever manner that makes you feel more connected, content, and at ease. There is no right or wrong way to do it. As you go, keep in mind that your body is still competent, receptive, and deserving of happiness. You may continue to have a fulfilling and changing connection with your own sexuality, one that promotes your health, elevates your mood, and helps you rediscover who you are by avoiding these 7 typical blunders and adopting a more thoughtful, caring approach. As you become older, your enjoyment doesn't stop. It's just getting started in many respects. Although it used to, many men still masturbate without lubricating, often due to habit or the conviction that it is not essential. In fact, skipping lubrication may severely reduce your level of comfort and enjoyment. Friction, discomfort, and even microscopic skin damage may result from it, gradually decreasing sensitivity. A high-quality lubricant may make all the difference in your experience. It makes it possible to move more gently and smoothly, lowers the possibility of pain, and more nearly resembles the feeling of intimacy with a partner. It may increase the length and caliber of your enjoyment and assist reactivate nerve endings that may have been dormant. Lubrication may lessen effort and make the experience smoother and more pleasurable for men who might have tight joints or limited hand movement. Using tools to assist your body's evolving requirements is not a sign of weakness. Lubricant is just another kind of self-care, just to how we wear supportive shoes to make movement easier or reading glasses to improve our vision. It is wisdom, not weakness. You may feel more alive, connected, and in charge of your sexual health if you embrace it. However, despite having the appropriate resources, many men are nonetheless constrained by something far more potent than physical constraints. It exists in the mind rather than the body. Furthermore, it may subtly undermine even the most deliberate attempts at enjoyment if left unchecked. What is it? You will soon discover. The 8th mistake is to overlook tools and enhancements intended for men over 60. Many men notice changes in sensitivity, dexterity, and stamina as their bodies alter with age. Nevertheless, individuals often stick to the same method of self-gratification that they have been using for decades in spite of these natural advancements, failing to take into account the availability of instruments that are expressly made to assist and improve their experience. Ignoring these resources may result in losing out on deeper comfort, easier mobility, and even greater feelings, whether out of pride, pain, or a simple lack of knowledge. Numerous contemporary devices have been developed with older men in mind, such as ergonomic designs that assist stiff joints, soft silicone sleeves that mimic natural touch, and mild massages that stimulate regions you may not have previously explored. The goal of these things is to improve your relationship with your body and make sensible adjustments to it as it evolves over time, not to replace your touch or your masculinity. Using a well-designed improvement for self-pleasure is just sensible self-care, much as how you would buy better shoes for joint support or wear reading glasses without hesitation. In actuality, your sexuality evolves with age rather than diminishes. You may explore pleasure in ways that are more satisfying, less demanding, and more in line with your present needs by embracing tools designed for your stage of life. You can even experience fresh feelings that rekindle an interest and energy you believed had long since faded. However, methods and instruments are just one aspect of the situation. The attitude you bring to your encounter is what really changes it. Something amazing starts to happen as you start connecting the dots. Let's bring everything full circle, a complete approach to self-pleasure and a new mentality at this point in your life. The most significant change you can make is not just physical but also mental. A deeper, more fulfilling relationship with your body might result from adopting a fresh perspective on self-pleasure as you enter your 60s and beyond. Performance, secrecy, and habit are no longer important. It's about respecting yourself, being curious, and valuing the person you are now rather than the one you were decades ago. You may have a healthy, restorative, and even healing experience when you let go of old misconceptions, guilt, and out-of-date methods.